Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Houston Rockets play the Sacramento Kings with a second of three games on a West Coast road trip. Last night in Denver, and then tonight in Sacramento, and then Saturday night at 9 o'clock in Portland. So it'll be the Rockets' first time. I think I don't know. It's definitely the Rockets' first time in Portland this year, and I think it's the first time. No, it's not. It's not the first time playing the Blazers. The Rockets have played the Blazers one or twice. Yeah, twice. The Rockets have played Portland in Houston, lost one, won the other. But it will be the Rockets' first time playing in Portland on Saturday night. So, but the second game of this three-game road trip is tonight against Sacramento. The Rockets definitely had one of their worst losses of the season a couple months ago when they lost in Sacramento. It was a really frustrating loss at the end of the game, which this has happened a couple times this year. Everybody got frustrated. A lot of ejections happened. Ime Udoka got ejected. I think Tari Eason got ejected. I know Şengün got ejected. There were quite a few ejections for this Rockets team at the end of the loss in Sacramento, and that was in the in-season tournament back in November. So it's a little bit different now. The Rockets are in January and playing a lot better basketball. Have only lost once in the month of 2025, and I'm excited to see the Rockets go out there and play tonight. And I think the most thing I'm excited for tonight is that the Rockets are on the big stage on TNT. You'll see, Chuck, Ernie, Shaq, and Kenny talk about this Rockets team. I'm not so excited about hearing Charles talk about. I'm such a big Charles fan, but for some reason Charles likes to hate on the Rockets, and I'm not too surprised because Charles' time in Houston wasn't great. Like I was just watching earlier this week. I was watching an old SNL episode that I went and watched on Peacock. That Charles Barkley hosted in 2018. And in the SNL episode, in one of the skits, Charles Barkley says that something about spending 4 seasons with the Rockets, but it was it was basically one. So Charles Barkley's time in Houston wasn't great. It was the end of his career. It was the bad times of his career. I don't know if that's why he likes to hate on this Rockets team. Because I do know when we beat the Warriors, he was not very, wasn't very positive about the Rockets, even though the Rockets had won and moved on to the Vegas NBA Cup of things, and so that was frustrating. But maybe with the Rockets playing a lot better basketball now than they were back in November, December when they beat the Warriors, maybe Chuck will be more positive about the Rockets. But I think, but at the same time, I love hearing Kenny and Shaq talk about this team because Shaq, God bless his heart, doesn't know how to pronounce Alperen Şengün's name, but loves him, calls him shampoo, calls him a bunch of other stuff. But Shaq's a big fan of Şengün, calls him Pau Gasol. And Kenny Smith, who's a respected former Rocket, loves this Rockets team and has gone to a couple games this year. And I know he loves to praise this team. So that's why I'm excited to watch those guys tonight. It's because of Kenny and Shaq and Ernie, not so much a Chuck, even though I love Chuck. But because of the Rockets, not a big Chuck fan. But overall, love Charles Barkley. But moving on from that, so I'm excited to see the Rockets on the national TV stage. Funny enough, this is the first time the Rockets are going to be on the national TV stage outside of the NBA Cup this year. The Rockets, obviously, they played on TNT against the Warriors when it was the semi or the wild card of the NBA Cup, and then in the semifinals they played the Thunder, and that was on ESPN. But those weren't scheduled national TV games. Those were the Rockets were in those games because of their good play. That wasn't originally scheduled. This is a game that in the beginning of the year we knew this game was going to be on TNT, and now the Rockets can go in and show what they got to the world that doesn't get to watch them. Like people that don't have League Pass that aren't Rockets fans. If you're not a Rockets fan and you don't have League Pass, you don't get to watch the Rockets. So this is the chance for some people to get to see what the Rockets have tonight. Now before we get into injuries and starting lineups and what the Rockets need to do to win tonight. Rockets are not favored in this game. The Kings are favored. The Rockets, money line for the Rockets plus 145. The last time I checked. You know what? I actually can understand that. I know the Rockets are red hot. They're 27-12. The Kings are 20-30. Also, the Kings are red hot as well. They've won 7 of their last 8. So these are 2 of the hottest teams in basketball. But that's not where I can understand the Rockets not being favored. It's the fact that the Rockets are in the second night of a back-to-back. Sometimes you can be a little bit weirded out in the second night of a back-to-back. Also, the fact that the Rockets got beat up pretty badly last time in Sacramento. That was with Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason, 2 guys that the Rockets are most likely not going to have tonight. Jabari's out. Tari's a game-time decision. Now that's how you get into injuries. But we know Tari's not going to play. I mean, I'm not going to believe anything I hear about Tari. I'm not too confident he's going to be back anytime soon. But so I mean, like I said, so I could actually understand why the Rockets aren't favored, but it might be a nice bet to take that money line bet. I'm not going to suggest to do it because I feel like this is a little bit of a trap game because of the second night of a back-to-back and just, the history with these 2 teams this season with what happened in the first game. So this might be a tough matchup for this Rockets team. So I don't know if I would take that bet, but I think it's definitely a winnable bet. But that's enough about talking about betting. It's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the game. So let's get to injuries. Kings, we'll go over them real quick. Devin Carter, who just returned recently, rookie, their lottery pick. Devin Carter is game time decision with a shoulder injury. Malik Monk is a game time decision with a groin injury, but last time I heard he is going to be he's going to be probable tonight. And then Jordan McLaughlin, point guard. So they're really, banged up at the guard side of things. 2 shooting guards and 1 point guard injured. Well, Jordan McLaughlin isn't injured, but he's dealing with personal issues and he's out. Let's go to the Rockets side of things. It's still the same. I mean, Jabari's out, obviously, dealing with his fractured hand. Tari's dealing with his lower leg injury, which we don't know anything about, and he's going to be a game time decision for tonight, which has been that's been the story for the last about 15 games for this team. So I don't count on him playing. And then Jock Ladle is a game time decision. Another player. Both teams dealing with players having personal issues. Jock is dealing with some personal issues. Hopefully everything's okay with Jock. And so, that's it for injuries for both teams. Starting lineups. Rockets will have their same starting lineup they've been having. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun. The Kings will have their starting lineup that they've been using recently, which is Darren Fox, Keon Ellis, and Keegan Murray with DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis. So, that's really it for this game. What do the Rockets need to do to win? You need Jalen Green, Amen Thompson, and Alperen Sengun to do what they've been doing recently, and Fred to do what he did last night. And there's no way the Rockets don't lose this game. There's not many teams I think that can beat the Rockets in the NBA when Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Fred VanVleet, and Amen Thompson have been playing the way they've been playing recently, and especially the way they played last night against the Nuggets. So I'm excited to see what happens tonight. I think Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun have a big night. The Kings have been struggling against centers this year for the most part of the season, so I think this will be a solid game for Sengun. Jalen Green has also had some real success against the Sacramento Kings in his career. So I think this is another night where it's a big night for Jalen and a big night for Sengun. And then I think the guy that makes both of those guys better is Amen Thompson. I think he has a good night too. Let me know your thoughts on the Rockets game against the Sacramento Kings in the comment section, and peace out. Go Rockets.